Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 14th episode of Tosh News. I always nearly say bi-weekly, but bi-weekly I think means twice a week. The fortnightly roundup of news that we've had for the past 2 weeks, and my God, it's been a bit of a rollercoaster, to be honest. The last 2 weeks of news. We've had Keir Starmer basically say immigration's over, it's terrible, I'm Enoch Powell 2.0. And then it's slingshotted back round to, oh yeah, basically every European under the age of 35 can come to the UK. Plus a load of, Indians for Indian companies. So that was fun. A bit of that is in the news, but obviously, firstly, it's the meme and international news. The meme being, I guess it's not really a meme, it's just a picture. Because we don't really have news stories on it, but Rupert Lowe has been somewhat exonerated, or at least he's not being charged by the
international
CPS.
news?
It's not. This is the meme. This is the picture we have of Carl and Rupert. Calm down. This is international news because I think Americans talk about it more than Brits.
Not untrue.
Yeah. Well, oh my goodness, we have a comment. Robert Lowe looks like a golem here.
No, he doesn't. He looks like a jovial gentleman, older gentleman.
He does look like a friendly grandad, and Carl looks like...
Which he is. He is a friendly grandad.
I was about to say Carl looks a bit like a paedophile uncle, but I feel a bit harsh saying that.
He
No,
does.
no. He looks like an Asda manager.
Yeah, well, that's why the Applebee's thing lasted ages,
yeah.
isn't it? What's good fellow femboys?
Also, why does he have a berry in the top corner?
I was thinking that. I've no idea. His dad was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, but that's not an Air Force berry.
Well, what is it then?
Well, it's an Americans for a start.
No,
it's probably
American.
something that a
It's probably
viewer
been
sent.
Yeah.
They get sent stuff by viewers.
Some of it's really cool as well, to be fair. But yeah, Rupert Lowe largely exonerated. Well done him.
Largely, completely.
No,
total low
not
victory.
completely. Not completely.
Complete
not
victory.
completely. There's judicial reviews you can do. There's he can still be
he's gonna
privately prosecuted.
He's going to be taking the attack. He's going to be leading the attack to them now. So he's on the offensive footing now.
I mean, you say that he did that on BBC News. No Newsnight and the news agents, which I thought were two. They wouldn't be my first choices for interviews, but then again, he did a bit.
He's just going on everywhere.
Well, he started with the two that would be most abrasive to him, I suppose, and then then he was on the Telegraph as well. But now he seems to be. He's been on a few Twitter Spaces with his followers now as well, which I've not really heard what's been said in them.
Oh.
What I do know is that there were a lot of Homeland supporters in one of those spaces, which I don't think is going to do good for him. But there we go.
He's not going to join Homeland.
No, I don't think he will. But I think having that following is I try and
but you say that,
quickly.
but it's such a tiny amount. It doesn't make
the tiny amount could they are experts at sinking ships. Like I have seen it plenty of times. If I was Rupert, I'd be like trying to get rid of them.
Well, the thing is, they will leave him once they realise he's not as extreme as they want.
No, they will grope him first. That is what happens. Or try and grope him, I should say. How far that gets, probably not very, but yes, he's of course also been on Lotus Eaters. I didn't watch it. From what I've heard from other people, it is quite boring.
It was lovely. No, it was lovely. He's a nice gentleman.
Okay, well, what did he say that was, substantive?
That's not the point.
Okay.
Not everything has to be some boring policy.
I mean, I'd like to know what his plans are. Is it a new party? Is he joining the Tories? Is he keeping that under wraps?
He said, Carl asked if he's going to join the Tories. He said, and that's not the right thing at the moment.
At the moment,
he said, yeah, that's not the moment. I think his complaint is that, there's a handful of good people still in the Tories, but he says, they're just a lot who should really be Lib Dems.
I think
so. The party's not in a. He doesn't think the party's in a good shape.
That sounds suspiciously like what Reform's position is. But watched Adolescence, didn't watch the Low interview. Yeah, I watch. I watch things the nation's interested in. Sargon getting hype mogged as well. Yeah, I'm taller than Carl. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
That makes me better than him. He's not the tallest man.
5'8", I think.
Oh God.
Which he copes with. That's the average height. So.
No, it isn't.
It is, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought it was like 5'10". I thought it was taller than that. Are you 5'8"? Are you a short man?
I think 5'8" is the average.
No, are you a short man, Tharium? Is that what you're telling me?
5'7", hobbits represent.
You are actually tiny though, enigmatic. I could easily look over you. Anyway, forget about Lowe. Don't care about him anymore. We've got American news. Oh, yeah. We've got a new pope.
Okay, hold on. Tory rebuttal. Yeah, he's 5'9", but I mean the girth, it just well above average.
I've taken.
How do you know?
You can't really see it here, by the way. But Carl is also wearing jeans, which I found surprising personally, because Carl had this whole thing of, I want all my workers to wear suits and things like that. It's not a suit if you're wearing jeans, is it? But still, I suppose you only see the top half.
You think he just wears pants during Lotus Eater interviews?
I reckon he forgets like the office isn't actually his home, and he actually just wears like underpants and that's it everywhere.
Exactly. I mean, I would do that.
Which is exactly what I've done for about 4 years in job interviews, because they've all been online.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Anyway, international news. We've got a new pope. Don't care.
Why? You are the worst Catholic ever.
I literally didn't care about Pope Francis either. Like
You're a Catholic,
so
just join an act. Just become
Anglican.
Aren't you,
No,
I was gonna say, aren't you like obligated to care about it?
not really.
Okay.
I think you are.
What do you mean I am?
I went to a Catholic like primary school and was very confused because I took community without. Oh no, what was it communion?
Communion. Yeah.
I took communion without because my parents were part of like a free church or something, basically a non-Catholic. But apparently there's like this big thing about First Communion. And apparently I shouldn't have taken it.
Yeah.
But I did it anyway because I was like,
wow,
the wafers look interesting.
You're going.
And I was like, well, it doesn't really taste of anything.
No, they don't.
I mean, probably, but not because of that.
Fair enough. Still.
Anyway.
I've heard the new pope is effectively another compromise pick, so he's a bit Pope Francis, but I hear ever so slightly better. I mean, we have a go at Pope Francis, but he did go to Italy and say that there's basically too much F-slurry going on as the gay one.
This guy, like he's all in favour of general shitlibbery, but not the gayest of them all.
Well, that's about as good as you're going to get.
Like, in terms of immigrants and stuff, full open borders, all that nonsense.
I know he's not a fan of JD Vance. Then again, JD Vance did kill the first pope. So.
Yeah, he did.
To be fair, right? If he goes on Twitter and looks up,
it is a fact.
It is a fact.
It is a fact that JD Vance is part of the Orange Order.
Is he really?
Wait, what?
I mean, well, why do you think Pope Francis died?
Okay, yeah.
You know, he's on the way to kill the other one at this rate.
Did you even say thank you once?
Not being funny, right? But if you go on, see Piggy saying I sound like Sargon as well. It's kind of.
You sound less whiny than him, if it's any consolation.
I appreciate it. But to be fair, right? If you didn't know who JD Vance was, and you went onto Twitter to look him up, I think you would naturally hate him as well, because how many egg-shaped heads and just the sheer amount of memes.
I like the memes.
Just how many minion edits.
Yeah, the minion edits. It's like, I think it's only natural that you would hate him after that, you know. And no portrait seal. I've never been in a room with Sargon, so there you go. That's So wait, no, maybe we've answered the question from. Wait, did we say that? No, we didn't do that. Before we started the stream, we were talking about V, and how I was saying how I'd love to have a conversation with V. So maybe it actually is the fact that maybe I do love V so much because I'm actually Sargon. There you go.
There you go. I don't know why you'd want a
There you
long
go.
conversation with V, but there you go.
I love that
Tharium.
man.
The new Pope also did cover up noncing.
As I have said elsewhere, at least it was women.
I don't know if it was.
Isn't that like a job requirement though?
Yeah, for a Catholic priest, of course. Yeah.
Well, I did hear. Yes, I have heard that as well. But to be fair, I think Francis was involved in something like that as well. I don't think you're going to find a cardinal that wasn't involved in it for another like 50
so
years, to be
bad.
honest with you. So, unfortunately.
What about I don't know if Robert Serra did. He seems he seems like the sort of more likely to crucify the nonce than anything else.
Well, there you go. Maybe. Anyway, other international news. The old President Biden. Yeah, he's got prostate cancer. Pretty aggressive, from what I understand as well. So
he's had it for years.
Has he?
Yeah.
Isn't that usually
because it's
one of the easier
metastasized? It's spread to his
Yeah.
bone. Yeah, it's prostate cancer is generally very slow, and the fact that it's spread to his bones as well means he's had it for a long time. And of course, they lied about it.
He was president
'Cause
for 4
nobody's-
years and they didn't catch it. What?
Yeah. He could have well had it before then, even. Before he became president, and and nobody's health is more thoroughly checked than the president of the United States. So, so they knew, right? And we never said anything. I mean, they were planning on running him. They were planning on
also
him being
knew-
president right now.
I was gonna say they also clearly knew about the dementia, but then they didn't.
Oh
want
yeah,
to,
yeah. I mean, they've
or at least
admitted
the
that.
cognitive decline. Yeah.
Yeah, the media are pretending. Oh, we were tricked. Really?
Yeah.
Man. So
But this cancer thing, that's a more serious cover up, I think, because we could all see the dementia stuff. And do you remember there was a clip a couple of years into his presidency, and he's doing one of his dementia rambles, and then he says, and that's why I and so many others have cancer, and we're all like,
Yes, I remember that.
and people are like, wait, is that just like his dementia, or does he actually have cancer? And the White House said, oh, no, he just misspoke, knowing that he'd have had cancer at that time.
Oh, incredible. Dementia.
And also-
I'm discussing Rupert Lowe again.
Because his
no.
son died. Bo died of was it Bo? Died of cancer.
Yeah.
Both
and I
of the Lowe
remember-
series? No, I'm joking.
No, not
Go
Bo.
on. There you go, man.
Don't scare me. I was just like, Bo's dead. What? No, Bo Biden, and he said as part of his what was it, the campaigning, he was like, yeah, we're going to beat cancer, or we're going to cure it.
Yeah. Ugh.
And I just remember thinking, I can understand I can understand. It's probably one of the more human versions of him that we've probably actually ever seen. It's just like, you can't say that.
I mean, it was, so he set up his charity, like the Biden Cancer, whatever crap, that gave no money to actual cancer research. It was all just spent on like further like lobbying the group and payouts for all the people involved.
That's basically all charity today, so
I
I'm
know.
not shocked.
I know,
that, but-
I know that, but it's like.
Oh, I'm not defending.
Another one.
I'm not defending it. This is exactly why I don't give to charity these days, because all it is
exactly,
lobbying groups. It's so funny. Like, they'll catch you in Tesco as you're going out. It's like, oh, do you have any money? It's like, what do? Oh, well, we lobby that. No, bye. Not doing that.
Yeah.
I already pay taxes. Sorry.
I've also heard that Bo was basically the one of his children trying to keep the others sort of together and like protect them from Joe a bit. But then he died, and they all, like, the daughter and son just went completely off the wagon. A hunter.
I would believe it, though. What was it? Asmund? Was it Asmund that said it? Where it's like Hunter is literally playing GTA in real life.
Yeah.
Just
That's not actually a bad one. I'll give him that. Right. Anyway, is there any other international news? I don't think there is.
really?
Donald Trump yesterday or the day before announced that peace talks are going. He's agreed. He's negotiated peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, and they will involve the new American Pope.
Oh yeah, absolute cinema. I'm looking forward to that.
What?
Like the Pope's
why
Pope's going to be hosting these peace talks.
Why is the Pope involved? That's a confusing one.
Both countries are Orthodox.
Well,
yeah,
I know, but you know, it's a common thing for the Vatican to sort of be involved in big peace things, though.
Is it? I can't remember the last time Vatican was. I don't think they were in Israel.
Well, that's Jews, and you know.
This is Orthodox. What do you mean?
I know what you're saying, like, but I think, the problem with the Orthodox thing is, like, if you went with a patriarch, the Ukrainians wouldn't like that because they'd say that this is too Russian biased or something.
I thought Russia was Muslim anyway. I know they've got blasphemy law.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. Well, I can't really see peace talks going too far, to be honest. They've not gone well so far.
I mean, are you kidding me? Have you seen the last peace talks the US negotiated between Pakistan and India? They just got scammed.
Yeah, but exactly. I mean, what can you do with those people, right?
Oh, wait till we get to the bingo card. I mean,
this.
Wait till we get to the bingo card, man. War is over is getting trounced. Yeah. That's not happening. War's going on forever.
I mean, the thing is, Ukraine is in a weaker position now. That America's going, we are not just going to fund you forever and ever.
Yes.
So that does change things.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, on to news more at home, and I just realised I don't think I'm showing
just really quickly. Did we actually speak about Karl of Arabia? Not Karl of. Sorry,
What?
I need to. No, Trump of Arabia.
Oh, he did a tour around the Arab Gulf states, whatever, and he had a. He had a McDonald's lorry following him the whole time.
Yeah. That made my absolute day. I'm not even joking.
Treating him like an emperor.
I disturbed my wife. Whatever she was doing had to stop, and I was like, "Look at this!" And I showed her the McDonald's, the portable McDonald's van. They even had like the McDonald's like branding and what was it, like the slats design that you see on the side of the shop. So it had that on the side of the van as well.
The Gulf states can do
McDonald's battle bus.
They called him the true president of the world, which I'm sure he absolutely loved that.
It's really easy to deal with Donald Trump. You just flatter him.
Yeah, exactly. But so many, like, all these Euro cucks are just too stubborn and stupid to do that.
Say what you...
I just now...
Sorry,
just really quick. I want like a what was I want a meme or something done, which just superimposes like do a side by side of the Democrat vasectomy bus or the abortion bus or whatever it was called.
Oh
and the Trump McDonald's. I don't know if that's like bad. I don't know if that's like bad taste or whatever, but. And Tori, I bet they even had like a working ice cream machine.
For Emperor Trump, you do.
Emperor Trump, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, just to compare.
Boring British news now. But I'm putting my foot down. Boring news. Boo. Keir Starmer hails win-win EU deal despite fishing climb down. I did a video on this yesterday. It's actually like, I try not to be hyperbolic, but it's not as bad as Chagos, but I don't think you can ever get as bad as Chagos. This is effectively.
I was gonna say, it's not like the best measurement, really, is it?
Yeah, but it is still basically giving the EU everything, with the only winners in Britain being middle class, bad words, who go over to Europe every year for 3 times a year, sometimes for holidays. E-gate stuff. So. Let's see.
I mean, it's like saying, "Oh, you got something terminal, but at least it's not AIDS." It's
exactly.
It may as well be though. So the PM has said his Brexit reset would be. I also hate this Brexit reset thing. Like that's not good marketing to anyone, as far as I can tell. Who wants a Brexit reset? Well, a lot of lefties, I suppose, but
also it was like red wall people that voted for Brexit in the first place. It was them that actually mostly it was the disgruntled, forgotten Labour voter, which turned tail, that actually got Brexit over the line. It wasn't Tories. It wasn't like people who were normally quote unquote right.
The normal party sort of stances didn't apply to Brexit.
Yeah. Anyway, it's supposed to boost the economy by £9 billion a year after he negotiated an end to checks as British food exports to the continent and linked British and European electricity markets. He said the deal was a win-win. I thought they were already largely linked. Don't we have interconnectors from France? And that's how we don't have a power surge every time Corrie ends, so we all put our kettles on. So nuclear power ends up being sent over to not ruin our electricity grid. Amazing. Starmer faced claims that he had surrendered to Brussels by accepting last-minute French demands on fishing that would give EU fleets access to UK waters until 2038. Okay.
I want to put my foot down regarding this because it's pretty close to home to where I am.
Mm.
You know, this lot are all for protecting my environment, but then do shit like this, which serves to destroy the environment by removing our fish population or significantly dwindling it.
Yeah, the French trawlers are really bad at that.
Well,
I found like they just massive nets. They're just the worst.
Well, that's not even the worst.
Yeah.
I think I forgot what was. Is that the worst bit? What is the worst bit? Oh yeah, someone made the point that okay, so the Tories were all like, oh, they've surrendered our fishing waters, and people have pointed out this is just Bojo's deal with them, but they've extended it a bit. What do you mean? It's terrible from the start. And then secondly, someone pointed out with the more frictionless exporting whatever from Britain to France, that works obviously the other way around. So what the French and Spanish can do is that they can go into our waters, net our fish, and then sell it back to us across Calais.
Madness.
Which is incredible.
And enigmatic.
Win-win.
Enigmatic. If you ever wanted to just put the final nail in the coffin. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it the EU that wanted to say that private yachts were exempt from eco?
Oh yeah, that
eco taxes or eco regulation or something.
Yes.
After that point, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. Because clearly you don't care, so I don't care. Definitely don't care.
I think it applied to private jets as well.
If it's private jets as well, that just that's an extra nail. You didn't even need the extra nail. Just you're going to bury it an extra 6 feet deep.
In their defence on that, sometimes they exempt them from new carbon taxes because they're already taxed through the eyeballs. So it might be worth looking into that. It happens a lot when when there's like new sin tax on alcohol or something. They'll only do it to beer and won't do it to like whiskey, and it's because whiskey's already taxed the eyeballs. So that can happen is all I'm saying. Anyway, Kemi Badenoch, who cares what she had to say? While Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform UK, claimed it will result in the end of the fishing industry. Probably a bit hyperbolic. Actually, it might not be hyperbolic, actually. Because from what I saw, the fishing industry were well annoyed about this. Because why wouldn't they be? I think
they were hacked off because I was listening to Radio 2.
Radio 2.
They were just, I know, rotism. I mean, well, they were hacked off, to put it mildly, just saying, this is destroying our industry, they're selling us down the river. That's the feeling.
That's a good pun. But but yeah, I've not heard fishermen be particularly happy for ages, and it's quite funny. I've seen lefties say like, "Oh, fishing only takes up like 0.3% of GDP. What's the point?" It's like, it's quite big for coastal towns sometimes,
Yeah.
They give our food. Where do you think our food comes from?
I'll say yes.
But also, like, it's not a huge like industry, but that's not the point. There is the it just shouldn't be, right?
We're an island.
It doesn't matter. It's not
heritage.
It's not about the money. It's about sending a message.
by fishing.
Yes.
Yeah, we're an island nation, and fishing is our heritage.
Yeah,
the French should stay out of our waters.
Well, that bit I agree with.
Do you remember? Do you remember that when there was that sort of dispute with our fishermen and the French fishermen, and they
Well,
tried
in the Channel
blockade.
Islands.
No, it was the Scallop War. I remember.
Yeah, and they
Because
tried. This French tried blockading Jersey or something, I think,
Yeah.
with their ships. And there's that one absolute giga chad who comes out in his red coat with a musket and starts firing it off.
Pot shotting, yeah. I think a few
remember-
more joined them as well. Yeah, it's funny that.
I just remember coming into work that day, and I had a French colleague, and I just went, "Hey, we're at war," and she just looked at me like, "What?" And then I explained, we're at war. It's the Scallop War. Yeah, I remember. I was very fond of it.
Well, we should win all of our naval wars. Apparently the Cod Wars was better. You know what? I just want every foreign ship out of our water, except for tourist ones. I guess they can come and go.
Well, what I want
boats
to
can
happen
also
is any
tourists.
fishing vessel that's found fishing illegally, the crew's detained and their boat is sank without recompense.
Oh wow. Okay, fair enough. There will also
Definitely send a
be
message.
there will also be a new security partnership that allows British defence companies to compete for 150 billion euros in EU-funded defence projects in return for payments into the Brussels budget. Oh, I didn't realise we had to pay. We have to pay for maybe getting some EU-funded projects. What?
Which they won't give
Also-
to us anyway.
Yeah, which
And
that's
what-
still
and
only to
what-
bid it.
And are we what manufacturing are we going to build those projects with?
Oh, we've got quite a big military defense industry.
That's half
But
owned by
is
foreign companies.
But is the manufacturing here?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is,
the
yeah.
manufacturing's here.
Okay.
Yeah. We do. Manufacturing's not small in Britain.
Yeah.
We do have a sizable manufacturing sector. It's just shrinking.
Yeah, I mean, compared to when we were like 50% of the world's everything.
Well, yeah. Well, we're not the big empire anymore.
But
Um,
when it comes to military tech, we do actually produce quite a bit still.
And we still can't
And then we
get
give it all to Ukraine.
we still can't get
Yeah.
a decent self-loading rifle. Still using the SA-80.
Ah, I know. Like our small arms industry has been completely gutted there.
The funny.
I heard,
But
Oh, sorry, Karen.
Hmm? The
Oh,
bigger stuff still we
Oh,
still
yeah.
do, but yeah.
Yeah, ballistic missiles and stuff were great. I was going to say, didn't they give up recent? Maybe I misheard, but I thought at one point they actually gave up and they were like, "We'll just use an M4 variant for
Yeah.
our standard rifle." Yeah,
do we?
I mean the M4 is a
Yes,
fantastic platform.
I thought we
we
still
We are
used it.
using the Knights Armaments KS-1.
Yeah, the Royal Marines have already started using a Colt M4. Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm very fond of the M4, but I'm just thinking, do we have to use, the American
The
stuff?
thing is, we've got Accuracy International who make
Okay, we
the
make
rifle.
good snipers. I'll give you that.
But yeah, there just isn't anyone I don't think who could make an assault rifle, really, unfortunately.
Do we actually give up on the SA-80? What the?
No, they've got a third
L85.
generation of it coming.
Did the Germans fix all the issues for that one too? So
Yeah, it probably was.
first iteration was famously terrible.
Yeah.
We
Then we
gave
bought
it to
H&K.
we then
No,
gave
we bought Heckler and Koch,
Okay.
and they became part of the Royal Armaments or something, and then they fixed it, and now they've got another upgrade, sort of little modernization project coming to it.
And now we just use an M4 variant.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, I
The
just
Royal
Googled it.
Marines are, but they're
Right.
bit different.
They're their
Oh.
own thing.
Apparently, yeah. Well, I've just googled it. Apparently, it's used by the British Armed Forces and the Republic of Korea Armed Forces. So that's good.
I mean, it's a bit of a meme, but you can, if you split up the vast majority of most militaries, you're going to find usually like a, was it like
Well, I know we share.
yeah, you'll find like an M4 variant or an AK variant. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
The
kind of became a little bit of a
Chinese
meme.
the Chinese using the type, what was it, type 90 something,
90 something. Yeah.
and it's like it's just an AK, but but with a
No,
Chinese.
no,
Distinct,
this is a bullpup one, I think.
Oh yeah, Type 95 is a bullpup. I'm thinking of a different weapon then. I know, basically every country in the East ripped off the AK to some extent.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's a good design. Why not?
It works. I mean, it literally doesn't break.
Yeah.
Well, to various. Sorry, Karen.
There you go. Well, we need to talk about the new youth mobility scheme. Well, we don't have to. It's just stupid. It's.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all these people saying Starmer's flanking Farage to the right or whatever because he aped Enoch Powell or what have you, and then 2 days later it's like, oh, by the way, everyone under the age of 35 in the EU can just come to the UK. Right.
Yeah, I've changed my mind on this, and that is not related to the fact that I already scored myself a Eastern European woman. So
I've got mine. No more.
Yep. I have already benefited, so everyone else can suffer.
Apparently the youth mobility scheme's up for further negotiations, but it's basically going to be if you go to uni or get a job somewhere in the EU, we can go there. Anyone in the EU can go to university here. They've not got to it yet, but I think they also agreed that EU students get to pay the £9,500 uni fees that English students pay. Whereas Scotland still go for free and Wales is still on £3,000 from what I understand. So it's stupid. I thought they didn't come to an agreement on the youth mobility scheme. Yeah, they agreed in principle to it. They are up for further negotiations. I would imagine it's just kind of happening. I can't see it not. We also get to use e-gates. Who cares, man?
Hold on, Tory rebuttal mentioning the Ali G immigration policy. I think the Lib Dems are most likely to implement that. Only women with big tits get to come in.
I thought that was Green policy.
Not
Oh
officially.
no, not quite. Not quite yet. Actually, that's the deputy leader, isn't it? Who's hypnotising women for growing their breasts.
Success.
Yeah.
And any more details? The youth mobility scheme. You know, they're not explicitly signing up to a cap. I can't imagine there is a cap. I can't imagine. The thing with this is that the EU got the massive fishing thing that they wanted, and then they're getting some sort of youth mobility, which is massively helpful to them because we have the best universities in Europe, despite the fact they all suck. So that's just how bad things are going in Europe. You know, it's people have pointed out Europe need us more than we need them, especially with like access to fishing waters, say, and the fact our defence manufacturing is pretty good. And yet here we are giving them everything again because it's all Labour know how to do. It's. I think I said in my video like children could come up with better negotiating tactics and deals, but yeah, no, Labour just moronic. Yvette Cooper backs PM over Island of Strangers remark, so this is the whole Enoch Powell thing. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper has defended the language used by Sir Keir Starmer in a speech to unveil plans to cut immigration. Again, this was like 3 days before the EU announcement that will up immigration. The PM said on Monday that the UK risks becoming an island of strangers without stricter controls. The phrase has led some Labour MPs to accuse him of divisive language, a claim rejected by Cooper. And it wasn't really that divisive, it turned out. I think half of white Brits said that, yeah, we feel like a stranger in England.
Yeah.
It's like,
and the other half are the ones who aren't living in the diverse areas.
So they're in denial or just unaware.
Yeah. The phrase has led to...
Who was it? Sorry, just really quickly. Who was it? That guy on that TV panel show? I think we were either on stream or something talking about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no one thinks like that. No one feels like that. Like no one." I was thinking, have you?
Oh yeah, after this, yeah.
It's I don't know. Were we on stream saying that? I don't remember.
Well, was it like there's the two guys, right?
Yeah, it was.
There's the two guys. This is not nailing it down. Panel show with two guys.
It was
that
on
could be anything.
It was on like I think it was like on a Sky Morning show or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's just like that person, clear London bubble. Like no
Yeah.
one feels like this. No one
Exactly,
thinks that. Yeah, no one
half
hates,
the country feels like it.
Yeah, or no. Half the country admit to feeling like it.
Yeah. Or they're like Jacob Rees-Mogg and don't experience it. And there was the
Yeah.
woman on there. She was going, I live in London and I think it's great. It's all so multicultural. Yeah.
Yeah,
There are people that
realised
think like that.
I've realised that,
Oh.
but there's like a sliding
but-
scale on like how much actual personality you have as a person.
There's two.
I
There's,
find.
there's two
Anyway,
types.
sorry,
of,
Aaron.
there's two types of diversity experience. Either the bad stuff, which is the 46% experience, or you have special kind of like almost the Westminster bubbles, almost like this, where the House
Kensington bubble.
Or Kensington, yeah, but you know, Fraser Nelson always like defends it to the hilt for whatever reason. It's because like he works in the middle of London, where you don't get the crime. It's where they actually bother policing.
Yeah.
So because the Spectator offices is like next to Parliament, so of course it's going to be heavily policed. So he only sees the positives. Like he'll go to prep for lunch, and it'll be a load of Eastern Europeans, whatever, serving him. The street cleaners, I guess, would be polite or whatever. And there's, I think their podcasts are run by she's from Hong Kong, the woman. But he sees diversity all the time, and all he sees of it is good, and he can't kind of pass that actually there's bad diversity out there as well. So, even in multicultural areas, say, you can get people like Fraser Nelson who are like, yeah, I don't feel like a stranger. And it's like, well, you're an anywhere person, and you're not really getting the criminals, which is what northern towns and places like that are getting. So there you go. Anyway, she rejects the comparison made by a small number of Labour MPs, notably former Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell, to the language of Enoch Powell, who was the most based man in existence. Not in existence of the past century.
Except the gay marriage stuff.
What gay marriage stuff?
He supported gay marriage.
No, he didn't. He was against buggery laws. That's different to supporting gay marriage.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay?
Okay. Well, it's a slippery slope, isn't it?
What do you mean it's a slippery? No.
I think it is.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, half the Tory party resigned over gay marriage. So they didn't want buggery laws back. What do you mean it's a slippery slope? This is the thing. This is the thing again. Eve ate the apple, therefore gay marriage. Like, what are you on about?
Yeah. Well, you stop.
I mean,
You can stop chemically castrating the gays, and then next thing you know.
What are you say? Are you unironically saying here that what's it called? Alan Turing deserved it?
I mean, he was given a chance, wasn't he?
Oh my god, gay marriage thing. You're on a slight.
I mean, it was a problem that solved itself eventually.
Yeah.
It's funny how gay men used to get that forced on them, and now gay men just take it voluntarily. Well, some of them
Crazy
anyway.
thing is, this is a complete offshot, but I just remember after COVID, there was the monkeypox thing, and then what was it?
And
It was all over the news. Yeah, and then literally there was one. There was
Yeah.
a story of a dog getting it, and like a little, like a child or something getting it,
Some
and
kids.
silence.
Two adopted kids. Yeah.
Yeah, like a lightning bolt. Just suddenly it was out of the news.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait.
Yes. And do you know what's terrible though? I remember my gut reaction hearing that, and I just think my first thought was, "But why'd the dog have to get involved, man?" Like, and then I thought, why'd the kids have to get involved? I was just thinking to myself in retrospectively, why was it in that order? What's wrong with me? I don't know. Maybe it was because I have dogs and not kids yet. So,
yeah. So anyway, Rivers of Blood speech, whatever. A load of leftists hated it. Literally don't care. His actions are the exact opposite. Rich list tycoons tell Rachel Reese.
But
the
fact that the rhetoric has now shifted to us is a very good sign.
what is actually wrong with the Rivers of Blood speech? I feel
Nothing.
like you. Okay.
Well,
I
some
mean,
of what the constituents said is quite uncouth. If we want to be.
Yeah, but it's
political
correct.
But, oh well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't support some of the words said. by the constituents. But anyway, I mean, you could have said the same thing without it. Is my point. It doesn't matter though. It's it's of its time.
No, you should quote people correctly.
Well, he did. I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm not criticising Powell. I'm criticising the constituents, but it's of its time, as I said.
But they're just ordinary people.
It was of its time, as I said. What more do you need? Like, fine.
I'm saying nothing was wrong with it.
It's wrong with some sensibilities. That's it. It's fine.
yes, there you go.
That's what I said though. Rich list tycoons tell Rachel Reeves her tax will kill family firms. I mean, we don't really.
We've got the farms. We've got the farms. Now we're going for the firms.
Oh, they're always going after the firms. There are 156 billionaires in this year's Rich List, 21 fewer than its peak in 2022, and 9 less than last year. The combined wealth of the 350 Rich List entries fell by 3% to 772.8 billion. Again, we're getting the world that the leftists want, and they're still mad. But yeah, it'll be a tax grab thing. So James Dyson, 78, the inventor, who is another Rich List regular, considered the policy a tax grab, which I assume is the which tax are you on about? Many family businesses did not have the cash to pay a bill, which is whinging about Reeves' plan for a 20% tax when stakes in family companies worth more than $1 million are passed to the next generation.
Oh.
So, just when you die and your business gets passed on to the family, 20% has to go to the state. Madness.
They are just such mutants.
Yeah.
They are just genuine mutants. You just can't have anything nice. Can't have any success because they're just so envious. It's envy. It is just genuine envy which drives these people to put these taxes.
Yep, and it's killing. It's literally killing the country, because I guess who pays most of the tax? Rich people. I'm still on TikTok having to tell people this with all the stats, and they're like, "Oh, they dodge a bit of tax though." It's like, one, everyone dodges tax, so shut up. Two, they still pay the most tax.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is make it impossible to dodge it, frankly. And frankly, I'm at a point where I know where this money goes. I don't blame them for dodging. I would dodge it if I knew how.
It is your patriotic duty to dodge as much tax as possible.
Yeah, it's crazy. Rachel Reeves to be forced to raise taxes, says X number 10-8.
What a surprise!
Force my backside.
What more can they take? What can they actually take? I don't even know.
Well, they haven't sold my organs yet.
I mean, we did have a top tax rate of 90% in the past.
That was just income, and that's when we had basically no other taxes. By the way, the problem,
but they'll be thinking, we could do that again, right?
We did it once. Yeah, there's a precedent for it now.
Oh, thank you, Times. Finally, a sensible situation.
Wait. Should the government raise tax? You see, still though, 35% going. Yeah, tax me harder, Daddy.
It's a centrist paper. What do you want? There's people on both sides reading this centrist paper. Wow, really? Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, but nobody actually wants to be taxed themselves.
Yeah, of course. But, left wingers. I'm glad it's that low.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they just want to virtue signal. Oh, look how much money I'm paying to the NHS.
Warren Buffett does that, actually. He's always going, oh, no, paying more tax is great. Yeah, how come all of the people who you support for president have never increased your taxes, old man? Go fuck yourself.
Also enigmatic. That does actually make a lot of sense, because when you describe it like that, it literally sounds like a tithe.
Yeah.
On the bright,
it's literally a religion.
On the bright side, they've been told not to raise income tax, VAT, or national insurance, so that's nice. Although the party did say before the election that it would introduce VAT on private schools, which it has done. Did not say that it was going to hike employers' national insurance by 1.2%, which has killed a load of people's both jobs and, of course, raises they were expecting.
Have they tried shrinking the size of the public spending and the state?
Yeah, they have actually. Right. So
have they?
It was confirmed that ministers had initially planned to freeze personal independence payments. However, after a backlash at the briefings from the Labour MPs in the weeks leading up to the announcement, Williams said Labour's planning reforms were seen as enough as a revenue raiser. So if they do try and make some cuts, instantly nah. The thing is as well, like they're trying to cut PIP, right? Which, you know, we can have issues with the benefit system. The thing is, we're all forgetting one thing. You got a Chagos deal that's £18 billion worth of just giving land away.
Yeah, you're literally paying. It would be like me going to Harry and saying, "Please, please, I'll give you £250,000. Can you please buy my house?"
Yeah,
or whatever.
no,
I
it's-
don't know,
hey,
or 300
hey.
or 400 or whatever. Like
Hey,
way more.
remember the £40 billion black hole? I remember.
yeah,
Oh,
I
thought
do.
it was like 20 or
I do.
something.
I went into it. 40% of it was directly Labour policy that caused it. It's madness to call that a Tory black hole.
Carrion classically dips his head into the singularity, looks out and says, "Yep, Labour's fault."
Well, only 40%. It's closer to a 22 billion black hole, which is the number that then keeps coming out, but people keep blaming Labour for that, so that's quite funny. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, and also obviously giving loads of money to migrant hotels, and now, you know, they're paying Cero to take over private landlords, pay them for 5 years so they can house migrants while kicking out things like single mothers and things like that. It's just crazy. It's just crazy, the things that money's being spent on. And, you know, I think a reformer was saying the other day, with the amount they're spending on taxis sending kids to schools, it would actually be cheaper just to effectively hire out Uber for the morning and evening to get the kids to and from school. That would be cheaper than what the contracts they have. It's
Yeah,
mad.
what is this with the taxis for school?
Effectively,
Because I never remember anything like that when I was at school.
There'll be some stupid equality law or something that it forces councils to make sure that disabled kids get to school. I think it's something like that. And typically you'd have like a dedicated minibus, but obviously not all of them have it or go everywhere, or they get full. And so to make up for their obligation, they'll just pay a taxi firm. But being the public sector, you know, the taxi firm will say £600 a ride, and they'll just sign off on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that it's something like that. The worst part is Max Tempers obviously goes on these forums of people with notability cars, and there's someone who has a whole scheme going where it's like, right, I have kids who need to get to school and they can get this taxi thing. I called up the council to say I can be the taxi. Obviously I couldn't tell them I had a Motability car, otherwise I wouldn't be allowed to do it. So they get a Motability car at your expense. Then at your expense, they get paid 60 quid or whatever to take one of their kids to school, and then another 60 quid to take that other kid to school.
I mean, you've got to respect the hustle, right?
Well, this is the thing. Like, British ingenuity still exists. The problem is all of it's being used to extract all the money from people who are classically productive. That's the issue we've got. Imagine if they went into the private sector. Honestly, we'd have invented warp speed by now. But no, these people would rather make money.
How
can
I get as much tax money as possible?
Honestly,
how can I get my Motability Lamborghini Murcielago?
Ironically, I feel like every time we go onto this subject, I feel like such a mug for like working.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
I know. I'm just
totally with you.
completely ashamed of myself.
I've said the same thing with like crime. You know, you see like these foreign drug dealers just living up. Like it's like, why not? You know, sometimes it just feels like that.
I could learn some Albanian. I could load up a TikTok. I'll be great.
I mean, Vicar here is saying, I've seen minibuses drop kids off at school, not taxis. Yeah, the thing with these taxis, they're not necessarily marked, and a lot of the time it might just look like a parent dropping their kid off at school. Yeah. That's the issue. Yeah. They're not going to necessarily be marked. So that's why you won't have seen them lately. And, you know, this obligation didn't really exist when we were at school, because I think Vicar's like just younger than me. I think this was actually a Johnson thing, largely. It might have existed before that. Yeah, I know.
I'm a mug. I was born, too late to make good investments and too early to get free taxis.
Yeah. Anyway, are you all ready to join the Home Guard to protect UK from infrastructure attacks?
Oh, yeah.
A home guard will be established to
Wait,
protect.
describe infrastructure attacks and.
Well, it's to protect power plants and airports against attack from enemy states and terrorists under plans to put forward in the new government's strategic defence review. It will be modelled on It will be modelled on the citizens' militia created in 1940 when Britain faced the prospect of invasion by Nazi Germany during the Second World War. It's based on the literal home guard. Yeah, it's gonna be a disaster.
As long as we can play Dad's Army intro sound in the background.
So it's made up of several thousand volunteers who would be deployed to safeguard assets such as nuclear plants, telecommunications sites, and the coastal hubs where the internet cables connecting Britain to the rest of the world come onto land. Hey, guards could also be deployed to other sensitive sites, such as an energy stations providing power to major airports with senior. They're going to be deployed everywhere. I get it. This is after that power plant. That substation got arsoned at Heathrow. So it's a central part of this. The Home Guard plan is central to this review, which focuses heavily on homeland security, national resilience, and the need for public to realise that Britain has entered a pre-war era as tensions heighten with the access of Russia, Iran, and North Korea. Oh God, they really.
I mean,
it's the worst timing for a war.
But you think Iran's going to be launching attacks on our power stations?
Well,
I mean, really?
Well, I mean, I'm not. We know personally of an Iranian who's here. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried that.
Yeah,
he'd have to roll. He'd have to roll to it. Yeah. Obvious. Well, no, this is the thing, right? No, this is the new plan, right? They've got this big mechanical arm, and it rolls him like a bowling ball.
It took me too long to work out.
Well, that's the thing. That's the danger, right? He just has to sit on it.
Yeah, exactly. God, I'm not reading all that. Just the thing I want to say is, a lot of this infrastructure, thanks mostly, people blame Thatcher. It was under Tony Blair, most of it was sold off, incredibly, and it's been sold mostly to foreign investors and what have you, where they rent seekers and profit off British internal trade. And they, end up owning it abroad, and the money goes there. Like, I don't have a problem making laws basically saying infrastructure and utilities can't be sold abroad. I'd be fine nationalising the whole thing and then selling it only to British buyers. I'd be happy doing that, but nobody seems to want to. Well, sorry, Reform want to do that with steel specifically, but should probably do it with other pieces of foreign-owned utilities as well, especially if they go bump, like Thames Water, for example. Don't bail them out. No, just especially because they're foreign owned, just buy it off him and work it yourself. But imagine asking, because it's going to have to be, people between the ages of 20 and 50 having to do this. Most people between the ages of 20 and 40 want to move abroad. I know so many people that are just open about plans to move to like Australia or Canada, or people who already have. I can completely understand why. What a joke.
I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, there's still plenty who don't want to go.
Name one.
Well, us.
No, I've been thinking about it for a while.
Let me clarify. I don't want to go.
Yeah. All right, making
I'd
plans
rather
then.
not.
Making plans then, whatever. I don't really care to word it properly. It's a disaster that the country is in a state where thinking of moving is probably in people's top 3 plans. Like, that's not normal. Usually there should be enough opportunity that you think, at the worst, move internally. Oh, I could go to London and do that, or I could stay in the, Birmingham or whatever and become a, I don't know, chef or whatever. I don't know, I'm pulling things out from nowhere, but honestly, thanks to mostly to the Tories, they're not getting away with this, but also very much thanks to Labour. We're in this situation where they're having to basically beg us to effectively cosplay as soldiers in front of pylons. No. I know it's probably for the good of the nation, but unfortunately, I mean, need to see better leadership.
These people will be paid, right?
It said volunteers, so I don't think so. Volunteers implies not paid.
You can volunteer for paid stuff, though. Like the army is a volunteer force. They're still paid.
So
I'm not sure what they mean by that. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that it's like, if I get conscripted, I refuse to guard any solar farms or any wind farms. They can get just torched. I don't care. And we'll debate the rest of it. But yeah,
I'm not.
am I allowed to like pick and choose what I'm defending?
No, you'll be in the army basically. What do you mean? No, you don't get to pick and choose. I can't see anything about pay, but maybe there will be. Labour banned transgender women from all female shortlists, so at least there's some white pills here. Yay!
Labour, I think this is clear. Labour are flanking to the right of reform.
Right. Okay.
Does reform have tranny bans? Nope.
I don't think
woke Nigel.
I don't. Well, they've not got shortlists, which is already less woke. Romanian man charged over Keir Starmer arson attacks.
No, I'm not going to make any V jokes.
It was originally a Ukrainian, and now it's another Romanian model. Oh no, that's Ukrainian, but it is a Romanian model.
Can they not tell the difference between like the journalists able?
No,
they can't tell the difference.
I can't.
I mean, if I listen to them, I can tell the difference. But then
I can't.
Maybe I'm a bit special like that.
Anyway, long story short on this, two of Starmer's properties and one of his private vehicles was torched. Originally it was just this Ukrainian guy, but now it's a Romanian as well.
Both gay models.
The rumour is going around that they are, yes, they're confirmed either gay models or... I don't know if they're necessarily gay, but they are both models and actors. But the rumour going around is that, yeah, they were effectively Starmer's escorts, let's say.
Allegedly, definitely true.
I mean, I don't know. What I do find weird is that they like, how many people know about these properties of Starmer's and what his car looks like? That's what questions my head. Yeah. That's what I've got questioned here. But
I mean, I'd have just thought, 10 Downing Street, and outside of that, who knows? And Checkers, but
I have no idea if it's how easy the information is.
Does he have a home address? I thought he stayed in his rich friend's apartment.
Yeah, also gay.
Allegedly.
Connect the dots, man.
Lord Ali is properly gay.
Yeah, I don't know if any of this is true. Just
allegedly, definitely true.
This is all alleged. Anyway, yes, the polls. Kelly Baydock, 4th place. Get wrecked. Give me those sweet numbers. Where are those sweet numbers? Well, give me a graph. Come on, I love the graph. Fine, I'll read. It's the worst performance by the party in since the final days of Theresa May administration, at a time when the Tories were struggling to get their Brexit deal through Parliament. Reform, which had been leading the polls since April, increased its lead over Labour by 7 points to 29%. You love to see it. Where's Tory rebuttal? He's on the suicide watch.
He's loving this.
Do you reckon?
Oh yeah.
Why?
He becomes more and more fringe every day.
I am the fringe centrist.
To be fair to him, we haven't had an actual Tory party for so long that he probably hasn't actually noticed any changes recently at all. I
know. So the polls show. Sorry,
Tory, where did you go? Tory, you were in the chat earlier.
So Lib Dems are in 3rd place on 17%. Tories are a point behind on 16%, and Greens are on 10%. I thought the Greens would make a bit of a surge post-election, but they've kind of bottled it, from what I can tell, and I don't think either leadership contestants are gonna improve it in any way, despite Gary's economics going on about them. So,
welcome back, Tory. He fell asleep. We were just talking about the dire straits of the Conservative polling.
Lib Dems are ahead of Tories now.
Yeah,
I mean, Ed Davey is a much more appealing leader than whoever the Greens have.
Oh yeah, well, Ed Davey doesn't do anything. Like, no one can pinpoint Ed Davey's politics. He's just friendly lefty.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, he just prats around, and people like that.
It's amazing how nobody knows the Lib Dem platform, but are more willing to vote for it than the Tory platform.
Yeah,
which is.
I mean, I get it. Like, if I had a choice between Ed Davey and Kemi, it's obviously Ed Davey.
Oh god, the poll showed that nearly a third of Tory voters at the last election intended to vote for Farage this election. Well done, Tory, but you're part of the 2/3. While 9% of Labour voters also intended to vote Reform. The Lib Dems have also made inroads in both the Tory and Labour votes. About 7% of Tory voters in the election said they intended to vote for Sir Ed Davies' party, while 17% of Labour voters said the same. 10% of Labour voters said they intended to vote Green. Again, that's less than I thought there'd be. The left-wing faction of Labour really wasn't that big, but it seemed big under Corbyn. Like, massive.
10% too many.
Yeah, I know. I'm just glad to hear that.
Like the Momentum group.
Yeah, I remember Starny's lot, yeah. Oh, there he is. There's Ed
Absolute
Davey. God.
Look at him having a whale of a time.
He's just having
Great guy.
fun, which I can't blame him for.
Yeah.
But I'm not being funny. If he goes above Labour, he's going to have to start doing something serious. We're going to be in such
No, he won't. It's working.
No, he will. No, I think he will.
No, it's working.
No.
Honestly, keep up the Valve strategy. Do nothing and win.
No.
Yeah.
No, because imagine if he ends up in opposition and he's just known as the man who flails his arms about while riding hobby horses.
That'd be
He's
glorious.
got a better reputation than half of the politicians that are currently running.
I know. I hate to say it, but having an effective opposition you need an effective opposition to some extent. Otherwise, you end up with. Why were the Tories so bad? Because they had a completely ineffective opposition for 14 years. So, effective opposition good, even if it is to the left.
Well, his opposition will be, is this boring or not? And that's I think I quite like that.
Tell you what, if all he does in opposition is go on about headphone use on trains, you know what, fair enough, keep doing what you're doing. There we go. Right.
Is the reason that they had terrible opposition was because I don't actually think the Tories and Labour actually disagreed on much over the last decade and a half?
Yeah.
Or is my cynicism just bleeding through a little bit?
You're right. You're right. Labour would suggest something, then 2 weeks later the Tories would go, yeah. That was our idea. Actually, we're doing that.
Anyway, oh yes, Lucy Connolly, ex-councillor's wife, loses appeal over jail for tweet, which is just 31 months she got for a post that wasn't even up for how long was it up for? Was it minutes or hours?
It's 3 hours.
3 hours, and
to just a few friends. I mean, how many views did it get? None, right? And not to any angry mob who's actually going to do anything.
But that's the thing. She said the magic words: mass deportation. That this is Starmer saying none of that, please.
Okay, so it is a good thing then.
I'm not justifying this. What do you mean? Go on, sorry.
Well, no, didn't just. Yeah, sorry. I was going to say. Unironically, I don't know who said it first, but the stuff that Starmer was saying in his speech, legit would have actually gotten somebody arrested beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't know why no one's made a complaint to the Met Police. To be honest.
Oh, I bet they have. But they'd just be told piss off, basically.
Probably, but still.
Because that was the thing. I remember. I can't remember who pointed it out, but it was just a fascinating point that it's just everything that he said in that speech. If someone else said it, even if it was probably even Farage, if he said it a week or so earlier, he would have had a knock on the door for sure, easily.
Which is why, sure, Starmer doesn't mean it, but the fact that the rhetoric's going there is really good.
Yeah, once it's able to be talked about, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think back to even Boris's day, before obviously the Boris wave. Migration was still. Well, I remember Brexit, and we had I can't remember if Labour were really talking about it, but I know Tories were, giving some legway to the migration rhetoric, but no one could catch up with Farage, and doing it
hold
now.
On. Farage did say he wants more Indian doctors and less Polish. That's not cool, man.
I don't think he said that. No.
He did. He said he wants more Commonwealth Indian immigration than Polish.
I think no. He said if he was given the choice between the two, he'd rather,
which is just nuts.
Not really. No.
It
his
is.
point was their part of the Commonwealth, and we have more of a history with them. That was his point. That wasn't him.
Everyone hates Indians.
Oh my god, we're talking about a gun, like, you know, or you got to pick one of the two. Like, which do you pick? Like, I don't.
Yeah,
like,
it's obviously the Polish people.
No.
Do they shit in the streets?
I don't trust.
No.
I don't. There's a caste system, Tharium. The doctors.
Warsaw is a very nice country. India, oh dear God, no.
Warsaw's a nice country.
I think Indians have become probably
It does
globally
feel like its
the
own
most.
place, to be fair.
I think India has become globally the most hated people in the world.
Become like it wasn't back
Yeah.
then.
Oh well, you know, it's much worse now.
Is it much worse now? Wow, is it
Yeah,
like these
I
comments
also
need to
talk
be
about
taken in the
globally,
context
like
of the
on a
times?
global level.
Oh, I
on a
know.
global level,
Yeah.
people are just everyone hates Indians now.
And Portrait was right. Like, Polish were the kind of the scapegoat back then because we had a load of Polish gangs in the north and Scotland.
Yeah, there definitely were problems.
Again, Tharium, context. Anyway,
But then there was also that was also a side effect of the unvetted immigration, or the unvetted immigration, whatever.
yeah, and you decided
You know,
to marry one, you idiot.
It was great. Strongly recommend. Just not the crazy ones.
Oh, Tosh just told me to shut up. Anyway, it was actually viewed 310 times, so that's quite a bit more than by no one, but it's still not many people, and it obviously was deleted. I mean, you know, with the laws we have, I'm not shocked that she at least went to court. I'm kind of shocked at the 31 months, and I'm very shocked that this wasn't reduced. Like, you know, how many months in jail is that with the type of laws we have? I wouldn't expect anything over 2 months. Go on.
So, Vickerstein, I just realized this is effectively the argument that you hear about the prequel trilogy. Just like everyone hates the prequel trilogy, and then the sequel trilogy come out, and then suddenly everyone is sort of looks back at the prequel trilogy fondly. And then there's me, and I come along and I say, I always like the prequel trilogy. Look how committed I am to this prequel trilogy. There you go. It all comes around. Sorry, Harriet, carry
on.
That guy who told the angry mob to go slit throats, he got his sentence suspended, didn't he?
No, he got the court date pushed back to August of this year. Which, given how quickly, like, Lucy Conley's was like one of those ones that was rushed through. But yeah, Labour councillor, that's been pushed back.
Yeah.
The obvious
and
strategy
you know he's
going
to get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, well, the obvious strategy there is people will forget about it and there won't be as much outrage.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah, it's obvious. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, he was in the middle of an angry mob. Like, there's a clear difference if you're going for incitement to violence there.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's just read the written judgment. There is no arguable basis on which it could be said that the sentence imposed by the judge was manifestly excessive. Don't know about that.
Okay.
The application for leave to appeal against sentence therefore fails and is refused. Again, I mean, the one mind I'm in about this is I don't think that she doesn't deserve any punishment. I think saying set fire to all the hotels full of bastards for all I care, you know.
No, she doesn't deserve punishment for it.
I think
this is the usual thing.
I think that's fair to say that's malicious communications.
No, it's not. This is the usual thing because everyone does this. Everyone goes, you know, talks emptily about committing extreme violence.
And that means everyone who talks about committing extreme violence is never.
You know, it's not real from her.
There is actually a bit of a point about this, because if you're able to express it, even if it's distasteful, to an extent, obviously there is a limit, and we're not, you know, that limit does change. When you're able to express it, it tends to actually not turn out into something else. What this actually does is make her a martyr. Yeah. And it says, okay, because now we actually have the comparison between the people who are able to say things and the people who aren't, and the people who aren't are punished more severely, and now it's a mess. You know,
like the people who go to jail for hate speech come out so much worse.
Harry with his usual communist expression of speech take. She's allowed to be disgruntled about people being in hotels. I think it's fair to say she probably shouldn't tweet about burning them down.
Yeah, but how many times has everyone here and everyone watching said about killing or maiming or some sort of
literally
thing
never
about
on
other
stream
people?
or Twitter. Literally never on stream or
yeah,
Twitter.
but you have said it, haven't you?
It's
You have said,
obvious.
how many times have you
I have
said
never.
you're going to kill people?
Or like in private spaces where
More than you can count.
probably probably
I'll
but
give
not
you
on
an
Twitter.
N+1. I'll give you N+1,
Not
and that's probably the amount of times.
the idiot thing to do is do this on Facebook and Twitter or YouTube, whatever, where everyone can see.
You know how
It's
these boomers
stupid.
these boomers don't treat it like that.
Sorry, I'm not.
They just think it's just talking.
Another reason I have barely any sympathy for this, by the way, is because we know the world we're living in, and you still decided to tweet that. Are you kidding me? Like, you're obviously
not everyone
gonna get
does.
punished.
Not
I was
everyone's
actually
really.
going to say the boomers don't know.
The boomers know.
No,
The boomers tell me about the Chelsea Russell case, about how she put the N-word on her Instagram post and how she ended up in court for it. The boomers know about this. I'm not having this. Oh, the
boomers caused this.
The boomers caused this.
Actually, you know what?
I'm not.
I'll give you that one.
Oh my god. Is she supposed to be able to say that she does, like, for all I care? That is nowhere near good enough to not make this malicious communications. Like, 31 months is excessive.
Well, I don't agree with the
obviously.
Malicious Communications Act. That's all absolute crap.
Well, fine, disagree with it all you want. The point of the matter is that, especially, like, this is an issue that we've been talking about for over a decade now. The reason I lose sympathy at this point is because you can't feign lack knowledge of the law at this point. It doesn't work. I'm not buying that.
You give the boomers too much credit.
Don't give the boomers too much credit. They tell me about this stuff these days. It's like, did you hear about Chelsea Russell? Yeah, that was 10 years ago. What do you mean? And many of these judges are increasingly Gen X. I don't think we're talking about judges. But
These people do not proofread.
Yeah.
The mass deportation
then,
now
she's not.
needs a
Sorry,
comma on the inside.
Sorry, she's not even a
Karen.
boomer. She's not a boomer. She's millennial.
Oh well,
Yeah.
Anyone
What
older
do you
than
mean,
me.
It's true, actually. I mean, I'm a boomer, depending on the day.
Malicious communications is nonsense. No, there's good uses for malicious communications. I don't want constant death threats in my DMs, for example. The problem with malicious communications is that then Count Dankula gets arrested for an obvious joke that he says is a joke, and even if it wasn't a joke, it wouldn't make any sense. With this, it's like, what's your
That's why it
defense?
needs to be scrapped.
What's your defense for this? Set fire to all the hotels, for all I care.
Because she's just talking in exasperation.
Right, let me.
It's not serious.
That doesn't defend malicious communications. For God's sake, man.
Does it not include intent at all? Because intent surely is the most important thing.
It doesn't matter to them.
I'm gonna go back.
It doesn't matter to Harriet either.
I'm gonna go back to John Stuart Mill. Context matters, intent doesn't. But I'm gonna go back to John Stuart Mill. His point is that you're free to, like, the point where you're not allowed to, like, make threats like this is if they're actionable. If you are saying this at a time where there are riots going on everywhere, and effectively if you're on Twitter, and people need to understand this, Charlie Brooker's right. It's like going atop a mountain with a megaphone and screaming it out.
Wait, how many fjords did she have? How many people actually saw that?
310,000. I would not be shocked if some of them, you can make the case that some of them are out there, saw it, and it could be actioned. And we saw hotels starting to get burned down. Like, you can see the logic there and making a case. The best way to defend that for all you is, she said for all I care, she didn't really mean it. It's like, is that going to be good enough? Let's be real here. Come on. Like, 31 months is excessive, but some punishment was always going to happen. And I don't think it's particularly defensible to say that no punishment should happen here. I'm struggling to defend that.
I'm not saying on the defense, but I would say, do you think that the people who convicted her actually cared whether her words actually incited or even could incite? Or were they actually just doing it to send a message?
Yeah, exactly.
This was obvious.
Because this was clearly targeted. The
problem I have is the excessive 31 months. You can say that is obviously way too much. I think trying to say it should have been thrown out of court. I think if she actually made a case to try and defend herself, it would be way better than this. She probably even could have got off. But
I would say community service at tops. I
Possibly,
wouldn't go anything further
possibly
than that.
that. Yeah. I think jail time, any jail time feels excessive to me.
But
Yes,
the fact
it
is
is,
that
because it
it's
is.
not just
Yeah.
not just jail time. It's also the fact of, what was it? She can't see her family or something. Like it is malicious. It is.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word
She's,
right now.
she's absolutely. This is absolutely a political.
vindictive.
Iodine.
Yeah. It's vindictive at this point.
But-
It is there purely out, essentially at a level of spite.
Yeah, like it's.
Um,
Like, even she clearly thought it was a stupid thing to tweet. She deleted it, so even she thinks it was stupid. But
and more people are going to be and this is like essentially what Tharium was saying earlier. More people are going to be radicalized by this sentence than her original tweet.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yes,
it's
the
decent.
size and
across
effect.
the board.
Yeah.
How many people have tweeted out, calling for violence against Nigel Farage, and nothing happens?
Yeah, there's definitely a
Right.
political
Milkshake,
thing
didn't
going
it?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think
Well,
they should be
yeah.
punished, Tharium?
No. But that's the point,
think
isn't it?
I think actionable ones should be punished. Actually.
Oh,
I mean, if it was
course
up to
they do.
me, I would say rejig the laws so that if someone milkshakes someone and someone gets a roundhouse in return, you return with a haymaker and they don't get in trouble either. And then suddenly all these problems go away.
But more
least that's
importantly,
my
do they
opinion.
bring all the boys to the art?
Well, it depends if it's better than mine, or I don't know how that works.
Exactly.
Incitement to violence has been a crime for centuries. Yes, I know. This is why I think it's pretty hard to actually defend this particular tweet. Again, her deleting it, the court will say to some extent, is because you knew it was in some way an admission to violence. And if they had a full case and a full court case, I think at worst, as we've said, it'll probably be 50 hours whatever community service. But because she pled guilty. She's guilty of malicious communications to incitement to violence, which to arson even, which would cause either grievous bodily harm or even the deaths of hundreds of people in a hotel, whatever. It's like she pled guilty to that. So I'm not pleading guilty to that was stupid. And why so many people were pleading guilty at this time, I'm not actually sure, and I don't think we've ever had an answer to it because that.
I
don't. From what I've heard from,
I think they were just told.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, who was
Citizens advisor or
telling them this?
The public defenders, they were all given.
Public defenders, that's the one. Yeah.
These people don't have their own lawyers. They're just told, it's better if you just plead guilty.
Vicar, I know you
Yeah.
were supporting me there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Pled guilty, should have gotten a lighter sentence. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. The punishment is what is the political part of this. I think being found guilty, I probably wouldn't say that's good enough to say it's political, because I can see the case for the other side for this. So yeah. But anyway, as we all agree, 31 months, well, any jail time really, completely politicised, absolutely ridiculous. I'm a bit more nuanced on the particulars of the tweet.
Hucked, I believe, is the term you're looking for.
Oh yeah, well I'm not as based as you, am I? And yeah,
Well, at least he admits it. I'm sorry, Harry. Karen.
and yes, the judge. A lot of other people tend to look into other cases that judges have done, and you can usually tell. You can usually see a pattern, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, moving on. Private school exodus of 13,000 far exceeds minister's predictions. There goes that VAT bill.
If only they were warned.
God, COVID hit him hard as well. Realised that. And then 2013, that's 5 years after the crash. Quite surprised at that
Oh
one,
my
actually.
God, how could we have predicted this?
Yeah, I would say. Even my brother's one that I pushed this private school thing on, and he just has no defence for it. I'm still not actually sure why he voted Labour. And it's something we definitely should have pushed him on more when he was on stream, but we'll have to wait till next time he's on. I don't know what
I
his
just remember
defence
being
is.
so disappointed. I was just like, I was promised commie, and I'm getting just regular sort of.
Turns out he's
left
turns out he's to the right of Harrion. What the hell?
Whatever. Not having that nonsense. The number of pupils at a private school has fallen by more than 13,000 in 12 months, a record drop that head teachers blame largely on the introduction of VAT on fees. Wow, really? Dropped from it's dropped from nearly 500,000 to nearly 500,000. So I suppose in that with those numbers, it doesn't seem as bad as maybe we thought. Though to be fair, as we said, it's still bigger than Minister's predictions. Figures cast out on the government's prediction that only 3,000 children would leave the private sector. I can't believe it was only 3,000. During the 24 to 25 academic year as a result of the tax rise, rising to 14,000 by summer next year. Incredible. The Independent Schools Council or Committee, I can't remember which it is, census, which will release on Tuesday, will also show that private day school fees have increased more than $4,000 or 22% in the past year to an average of £22,000. Many boarding schools cost more than $60,000 a year. Oof. I think they were predicting that it was only going to raise raise the price of schools by like 10% as well. This 20% cost of adding it'll only actually raise price by 20%, by 10%, because they thought schools would largely, brunt the cost, but they did. But thanks to the double whammy of the NICs on top of that, so teachers' pay now costs more. That hit them as well. And then there was actually a third thing that I can't remember that hit them economically, and I can't remember what that is now. But yes, private schools got brunted here, like properly bad, and I can only see this getting worse as well. Yeah, I know, crazy professional autist. No, you can't. Make all schools private. You know what? I agree. Anyway, this is a load of people saying that it's a disaster. It's like, yep, yes, it is. Person dies in channel after migrant boat gets into difficulty.
Don't care. Carry on.
Well, I mean, this is.
Sorry. What were you saying?
I mean,
sorry,
not.
Oh no.
Carry on.
Anyways,
not to be not to be so.
Oh no. Yeah.
Not to be so brash, but even I saw it on the Times. Usually, I have people saying, "Oh, that's terrible," but the top comment was just, "What do they expect? They know the risks." Like,
thank you, Ulmo, for protecting our seas.
You got to start praying to Poseidon.
But yeah, one person's died, and yet 30,000 are still crossed. More than have crossed.
I probably
ever.
shouldn't. Oh, sorry. I probably shouldn't be quite so cynical on that. But no, it
Well,
is a shame when people
tragedy.
die. But
it is a tragedy. But at the same time, what do you expect?
I was going to say it has turned from it's a tragedy to it's a tragedy, but, and I think that's kind of. Yeah, when stupid, it's kind of like in the same way that I would feel bad if someone was shoving fireworks up their butt, and suddenly they get injured.
It's the old EFAT meme of
if anyone remember, yeah, sorry.
They had the discussion of if you drink Belle Delphine's bathwater, do you deserve an STI?
Yeah.
And
yes.
Rags was on the side. I think Rags was on the side of, oh well, you don't deserve it because deserve has connotations. It's like, no, you obviously
Rags
deserve
is
it.
gay.
Risk. It's bisexual, actually.
That's gay. That's gay with options.
it's just gay with extra steps.
It's gay for men, and for women it's normal. Anyway,
but yeah,
I mean, disavow actually.
Yeah, I mean,
but no, yeah.
Go on.
You did get yourself into this situation, and it's sad that this happened to you. But at the same time, if we had our way, people wouldn't be dying. It's like I remember. Maybe I've just always been like quite cynical, but I remember the image of the father holding the son crying on the beach. Yeah, I think it was around. I can't remember what year it was. I think around the Brexit time, or no, it was around the Angela Merkel arc. I remember that.
Yeah. Yep.
And I remember at the time just thinking to myself, "Psyop," just immediately. And like,
And it was.
And my opinion hasn't changed much since then, except it's sort of.
Yeah. I mean, because you're right. It was all psyops.
Well, I mean, no one killed that kid. Well, I guess the parent did. If you
basically a good opportunity. Yeah, apparently he wanted like dentist work or something.
It wasn't just that. It wasn't just that psyop that made Angela Merkel open the doors to Germany. It was also the fact that some 9-year-old girl started tearing up, saying, "What are you going to do for these people?" And Angela Merkel,
nothing.
Just couldn't do
I'm going to do
about
nothing.
Well, no, a better thing to do would be more foreign aid. That would have been better than what we got. But couldn't even do that.
Angela Merkel is a prime example of why childless people should not be politicians
Oh,
because they
there
sort
you
of
go.
then take on the whole world as their children.
Yeah, I do actually agree with this to some extent.
Well, there you go.
I mean, like we had Theresa May with no children, disaster.
Disraeli didn't have kids, and he was pretty good. That was the Suez.
Oh, don't know about that then.
Agreed, Portrait Seal, no foreign
Where-
aid either.
Where's the Suez now, though? Hmm? Exactly.
I mean,
Listen.
it's in the same place, but I think I know what you mean.
Listen, I'll put it to you this way: I'd much rather spend money on foreign aid, keeping refugees elsewhere, than having to pay for them to take up our hotels. I think if that's the world we're in, I'd definitely rather foreign aid.
No. You pay for gunboats in the Thames.
You can do, but why not both?
Gunboat-
You don't
I was
need
gonna
both.
say,
Well, what's the point? I
gunboats
guess
are
is your
cheaper.
answer. Anyway, Reform UK councillors refuse diversity training. Look at this. Absolute
Look at this
shadow-rinos.
diversity.
Absolute shadowrinos here.
I'm
Actually-
sure she's very nice, but the girl in the second row on the right does kind of look like something from the Addams Family or something.
Yeah.
She looks 18.
I was gonna say, she
Yeah,
looks
I'm
very young.
young.
I'm sure she's nice.
I'm also very
Does
pro
look a
Addams
bit-
Family.
She
So
she does look a bit spooky though.
Oh my god.
that's
don't
good.
be-
That's,
right,
that's a feature, not a
Do
bug.
not be mean about our.
Listen,
boys and girls.
I said
I'm
I'm
more
sure she's
concerned about
nice.
the man.
I'm not.
I'm more concerned about the man on the left with that man bun. What the hell's that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah.
Merkel
Well, I
was
mean,
in
my
the.
hair's not
Can
that
someone
long yet.
beat him,
so
please?
Mm.
my man bun would not look very interesting at the moment. Though this actually reminds me of if anyone in chat hasn't watched Clarkson's Farm and is going to now pause the stream to go watch it. Actually, no, please don't, because it's going to take you a while. There was a very funny episode once when he said, Amazon, wanted us to include lots of diversity in this show. And he said, now here you will see that we have a very diverse array of, was it elderly or to middle-aged white
Yeah,
farm men in the Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Basically, it was just like all the different types of, elderly white farmer. We have them all here.
Yeah.
And this image just reminded me of it, and it made me chuckle.
So Reform UK Council leader has confirmed his group will not take part in diversity or climate training as part of their new roles as elected officials. Mark O'Neill, a Reform UK councillor, was appointed as leader of West Northamptonshire Council on Wednesday. He took the local democracy reporting service as it stands. I will stand with the policy and the councillors on Reform Group and will not be attending the training. Very good. Yeah, look at this. Labour are going to come out and flank Reform from the right here by saying, "Oh, we're actually going to do pro-white training."
Oh, love to see it.
The move comes.
I mean-
Hands above the desk, Tharium. Hands above the desk.
I mean, if these immigrants keep firebombing Starmer's stuff, only a matter of time.
God, yeah, but Starmer might be thinking too much about the actions they were taking with him before, weeks before that. Allegedly. Move comes after Farage post on social media that newly elected councillors will boycott the training, stating that all people should be treated equally. And obviously they've taken control.
Do we
of the
know
council.
how mandatory these trainings are?
I've no idea.
Because
I
a lot of the
think,
time, they're offered, but they're not actually mandatory.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. To be honest with you, it's like this is policy reform that everyone, it's boomer slop. Which is
Like
I love
corpo stuff,
boomer slop.
they tend to do like a full compliance thing if it's corpo. But I don't know how it works in like political parties.
They're gonna fire the St George's Cross and the Union Jack and have the council emblem only. on local
But what about
authority.
the royal standard?
Oh my god! What
Oh
about
my
the army
God.
flags? Oh my god! Yeah, I know.
What about the Confederate flag? I can't put that up.
Speaking of Rubber, did anyone see his tweet that he made?
I'm not on Twitter, so
today?
no. I mean, I am on Twitter, but
He tweeted. Screw it. He tweeted this. That I then was like,
no.
"How deluded are you?" Does everyone know who that is?
I mean, I know who the person is. Wasn't he like the Iranian? Was he Iranian or
Iraqi, wasn't it?
was he Iraqi? Yeah, everything's fine. the general or whatever.
Yeah, while they're getting crushed. Like you say, this chap
Yeah.
springs to mind whenever I hear from a 100% reform activist and loyalist. He's talking about me, by the way. And I'm like, have you seen the polls? What are you talking about? Everything is fine.
No. Kemi's got a plan. She's cooking.
Kemi's got a
What I'm
plan,
saying is
honestly.
that, like, sorry, but you better pray that everything is fine. We do not have a backup option. Why can people not see this? We do not have a backup option.
Nah, it's got to be Tories winning. Don't you understand? He's been a Tory member for decades. He's actually left the party as well, so I don't know why he's so bothered by it.
I don't want to hear it from like again. I haven't spoken to him directly, I don't think, but I was in Brighton around Brexit. Like I voted Tory around that time as well. Like I've got enough bona fides to be able to say, look, they aren't what they used to be, and they're not going to get us through this. I don't think.
Nope. So yeah. Anyway, we'll quickfire these last few. M&S chief Stuart Machin faces 1 million pay cut after cyber attacks. Yeah, there's cyber attacks everywhere. Absolutely.
About time that the CEO actually gets a pay cut rather than a bonus when they screw up.
Yeah, it's slightly more common than you think, but yeah, like it's good to see that he's taking the brunt of it. I mean, it won't just be that; it'll also be the fact that the company's probably going to be losing money because of NICs and what have you. But whatever. Gary Lineker to leave the BBC. Go on.
I was going to say it depends on also the type of the cyber attack, because like you might say a pay cut of $1 million sounds like a lot, but if you know how much their infrastructure probably costs, if you have like a DDoS even for a couple of hours for a big enough company, that is hundreds of millions, sometimes even more. So,
yeah. Anyway, Lineker's leaving the BBC because
this was funny.
Leaving, quote unquote.
God, he really does look like a paedophile.
Oh my god! All right. So he won't receive a payoff. Thank God for that. He was their highest paid presenter, and Match of the Day season finale is going to be the last time it's on the BBC. It's all over. His latest social media controversy when he shared an Instagram post about Zionism that includes an illustration of a rat. The former England striker subsequently deleted the post and apologised. So all those people, he deleted the post. He didn't mean it. It was just a joke. Should he be punished or not?
Well, apparently the other person got locked up for incendiary stuff. So.
There's a difference between jail and just getting fired.
I will give you that, but still, social media, it's a place where you can have consequences, and we all know this now.
But they shouldn't be criminal like that.
No, it depends.
Sorry for digging that one up. Let's carry
on. I think he's going to start a podcast with Owen Jones, probably.
Well, he already runs a podcast, a football podcast. He owns Goalhanger Productions, who make The Rest Is History, and the rest
gross.
The rest is politics is the worst one. Oh, the rest is money. The rest is entertainment. Whatever. Like, God, the only one worth obviously is Rest Is History, but God.
No, Finn versus History.
Yeah, but that's not Goalhanger.
Yeah, exactly.
But Finn versus History is very good. I need to watch yesterday's episode actually. But there's no financial settlement. He's getting kicked out. I think he'll have enough money.
Yeah.
But people have not liked him for some time because, God, I just don't have very many nice things to say about him, believe it or not. Anyway,
did you know that Owen Jones was caught editing the Hamas Wikipedia page to remove criticisms? And this was a few years ago. People caught that he'd be making edits to their Wikipedia page to sort of big them up, make them seem like, they actually misunderstood. They do a lot of charity work.
God, that's embarrassing. Rory Stewart interviewed the leader of Hamas now. Oh, God.
Sorry, I was just, oh, man.
BBC was warned about...
It's like Hassan Piker interviewing Luffy from One Piece.
I don't think it'll be that bad. Come on. At least Rory Stewart has a triple-digit IQ. The BBC was warned about Hugh Edwards in 2012. New files reveal.
I can only imagine the response they gave was, "We know, that's why we hired him." With the BBC.
Hang on, back in 24. So I wanted to reach out to you personally and potentially flag an area of risk to the corporation that you may not previously have been aware of. One such complaint at the time I recall was in relation to Hugh Edwards. So I imagine this was like back in 2012 or whatever from this email. So yeah, it was flagged up way back then. They didn't do anything because he's a good news reader, I guess, or something. I don't know.
It's why they hired him.
Rattle, jewelry, everything twice. The band was, what it.
Was that Jim? That Jimmy? That Jimmy Savile?
I will fix it for you. Yes.
God. Why do you know Jimmy Savile so well? Do you impersonate him?
No, I just copied what Alan Partridge or whoever plays him does with him.
I want to find.
You did it in Spitting Image.
Right. I want to find that clip now of. It's like just after Jimmy Savile died or something. Some guy going to like a Halloween party with his girlfriend. And she was like, "I want you to dress up all sexy." He's like, "What's not sexy about our Jimmy?" Like, proper Jimmy Savile outfit. I need to find it. It's a good one. A couple of awarded.
Funny, right? But I was going to say, but people give. I'm not Catholic myself, but people give the Catholic Church a lot of flack for bad behavior. But it's just like I'm still to this point hearing radio silence about the BBC.
Naturally.
And it seems that they seem to have as much. It's just coming out one after another. It seems just about as prolific.
Oh, the BBC run the radio, so yeah.
I guess.
BBC run the radio stars. Anyway, a couple awarded a grand over footballs kicked into garden. I hate this country sometimes. What is this?
I love to see it.
What are you?
NIMBYs getting rewarded at last.
I'm sorry, you don't deserve money for buying a house next to a football field. Like, what's that about?
No football fields in my backyard.
Specifically, the house was there before the football field.
Well, then they should. Well, then they'll have been consulted. They'll know that footballs are over. I'm not having it. Like, you don't deserve a grand for having to throw 140 footballs back over a few years.
Oh, I think they do.
Do you want me to read out their names for you, Tharium, and see if it changes your mind? Marianne and Mohammed Bakhte,
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Give me that.
Here we go.
I was trying to remember if, as a kid, whether us naughty children would ever climb the fence into the person's garden to go fetch the ball. And I'm just thinking how I would feel about that now, if now that I have a back garden.
You'd shoot young
I have to disavow for officially, but I would feel very strongly.
Sorry, this is very funny. They said the balls and the noise from the all-weather five-a-side pitch meant they could no longer use their swimming pool or summer house and were forced to cancel their annual summer party. Marianne Bakhte, 66, company director, claimed the neighbouring sports pitch had overtaken my life, while Mohammed Bakhte, 77, a property developer, suggested that school deliberately built the pitch to upset the couple.
He's a Yimby. He's a Yimby to a Yimby Muslim.
You have been absolutely skedaddled here.
I was wrong. I was completely wrong. This is terrible.
They took the matter to High Court. For a grand! I
was going to say,
when these are
absolutely mugged.
These are clearly two pretty wealthy people, and they're just, fussing about that.
Awarded a grand in damages. He probably wipes his bottom with that much.
I was going to say, how much did the legal proceeding cost him?
Hopefully 10 times more than that.
At least, yeah.
Honestly. 170 balls came over in an 11-month period. Oh my goodness. Just build a fence. That would have been better use of the money, actually. Instead of going to court with it, just say, here's some money, build a fence. I'll have some soundproofing there as well.
I could give them to some sort of charity or like kids' playground or something.
Pay to move the pitch the other side of this park.
Wait, really?
That's what he could have done. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Goodness me. Sorry, Tosh, we'll go to sleep soon. Or you can go to sleep soon, I'll be quiet. Right, bingo card time. let's finish this off because there's a few to do here. Right, Reform 6th MP. Obviously, we're closer to that than we were. Don't think Ben Habib's joining Homeland. Just throwing that out there. Don't think that's ever going to happen.
No.
Recession. We didn't actually get an article on this today, but we did actually apparently go up in first quarter by 0.7 growth or whatever. That's ONS data, original. So I'm expecting in a few months that's actually going to be downgraded to something like 0.6 or 5. Still not recession level, but we're really into this. Starmer no longer leader. Possible.
I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening, but it is possible. It's still on the cards, that's what I'm saying. War is over is just, there's more wars than ever. I've never, we're basically at a World War level event here. It's going to get worse. Major reshuffle. It's not quite happened yet, but it's definitely in the works. That's much more likely. So GTA 6 bombs, technically true.
Yes.
It's
it will
delayed.
sell zero. It will sell 0 copies this year,
which is a bit of a bomb, I have to say. Yeah, I'm with you. More riots. I don't know.
They're coming. They're coming.
Who knows?
They're coming.
More tax rises. Well, they don't shut up about
Guaranteed.
it. That's you got to wait for the autumn budget, I'm afraid. Trump assassinated. Still not sure why John pushed for that so much, but there we go.
I mean, there was a new attempt, wasn't there, a little bit ago? It never got to. It never got to the actual taking a shot.
Was it Comey or something or whoever?
Oh yeah, around that. Yeah. There was someone. Someone was arrested. It never got to taking a shot.
And
then shells.
The former FBI head put shells going to kill 47.
60.
86, 47.
86. Yeah, 80 miles out, 6 feet deep, I think is the expression. So, yeah, 86, 47.
Well, the Trump assassinated, John was pretty clear that's full on dead, not attempt.
Okay.
So, I don't know why he said that. Trump bombs Iran, that's pretty possible.
Yeah.
Stelios...
He's bombed the Houthis already.
Yeah, but that's not Iran, that's just Iran backed.
Yeah,
just Iran's money.
We're getting there.
He's inching closer.
Bombing their economy at the very least.
Stelios leaves Lotus Eaters, no for some reason.
I don't know.
Everyone but Stelios has left.
Yeah, I know.
I think he quite likes it there.
Well, maybe. Islam Party surges. It's quite funny. The independent seats are all pretty much neck on neck, not neck on neck, but they're between Reform and the independent MP. That's every single one, so that's possible.
Well, you know what that is. That's going to be the Muslims going them, and then the natives going Reform, and that's just going to be the ethnic conflict.
You know what? I wouldn't want to comment. Another pandemic.
Okay.
Possible. Sturgeon sentence. She got away with it. Do you know, enigmatic, if that's because she actually didn't do anything and it was all her husband, or whether there was a deal they made with her and her husband?
I genuinely don't know. I've not looked into it in ages.
Reform gain control of a council. Yeah, that's happened.
I think that's true, isn't it?
I think that's happened.
That is true.
That's happened a lot. That happened 10 times. So in fact, I'm going to go even more on that. Let's scribble that out. That was an absolute win.
Also enigmatic. I take the Dankula. I think it was the Dankula view on it, and I kind of just wish they should just turn into a sturgeon.
That she would be more useful as an actual sturgeon.
As an actual sturgeon, yeah.
There's something fishy going on at the SNP, I think.
For a while, yeah.
I think that was a joke, mate. Fishy, because they're all named after fish. Yeah.
Well, at least for the next couple of minutes.
Not sure why TR gets arrested is a thing. Is one we've crossed out. I think that's because he failed his appeal at first, but he did win it.
He's now not failed.
So I might have to retroactively take that off, but I can't be bothered doing that live. However, Common Blackout. In fact, no, I'm gonna have to do it live because otherwise we have a bingo. Right, let's do a.
We had because we did have the trains go out.
There we go. That's my tip.
I had a little power cut the other day. Actually, everything just went out for a couple of seconds and then back on.
We had in about the span of 2 days about 4 news stories from different parts of the country having power cuts.
Well, if we can confirm it, then I think we can cross it out.
Well, I'm
pretty much.
I'm counting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had about. It was like when it's like when Jordan Peterson cried. Like I had 6 messages on our Discord going on about, oh, you need to do Jordan Peterson cries. You know, it's like, yeah, I know I need to do him. Anyway, I've done a really bad Tipex if Tony Robinson gets arrested.
Keep him so we can have the bingo. For goodness
No, it's too early to have the bingo. It's way too early to have the bingo.
No.
Listen, you've still got a chance if Ben Habib joins Reform. Sorry, Homeland. I was listening to Times Radio the other day as well, and the host was talking to Richard Tice, and he started asking him about UKIP. He's like, "I'm not UKIP. What do you mean? I'm in Reform." Anyway, I think that will do it for tonight. So you can all have a look at the lovely family of the Rupert Gons, the Sar Lows, Sarkon and Rupert.
I did legit nearly call him Richard.
Yeah,
I'd like to be in that family.
Yeah,
That looks like a nice, wholesome family.
that is very gay. Right. I think with that's everything we have for you this particular week. Because we don't like these to go on too long. It'll be Tosh Talks next week. God knows what the poll's going to look like, because some of the... If I might just not do a poll and we just do a fun one that's like what we should do for England's 1100th birthday. You know, Penwell's... I think he's a member, actually. If he's a member, then I will just do that. Because after all, he gives me money. The Echoes or the Lacads... I don't really want to call them the Lacads. That sounds wrong somehow. Anyway, it's a gay marriage, very Tory. Anyway, on my channel it's Subnautica on Thursday, and then, as I say, this channel it's Tosh Talks next Tuesday, and then more Subnautica Thursday, and Laughing at the Guardian Saturday. Videos out on my channel as and when. I was quite late with my one today because it took a while. I ended up doing a video that lasts an hour and a half, all on Homeland, and that is time I'm never going to get back. So
yeah, I didn't see it yet. I only noticed it just before the stream, so I'll have to catch up.
Yeah, quite. It's mostly just it's full of cranks. What did you expect? Anyway, so do watch that. Do watch my other videos. Do subscribe to this channel. Do subscribe to my channel. Do join the Discord as well. Thank you to our members, obviously, for giving me an income stream. And, well, no one's super chatted today, but thank you to everyone who has super chatted in the past. Harry gonna not reading Subnautica again. The problem is that because I've got Zen on all the time, it just tells me what things say anyway, so it's kind of pointless. Anyway, with that, I would like to thank the panel for being on, so thank you, Tharium, Enigmatic, and Cero.
No, well,
You're welcome.
Lovely. And with that, that's everything we had for you for today. So once again, thank you very, very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.